The Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. What the hell has been going on with it? Well, that's what we're going to be covering in this video, as my inbox is inundated with messages about the potential new token to merge into the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance family, the backlash of that, and people wanting to know what is actually happening with it. So we are going to be covering that in this video. It's been a little while since we've spoken about what I believe is going to be one of the best performing projects in this crypto bull run, because there's this perfect synergy between AI and blockchains. In fact, they kind of need one another in many areas. And the decentralization of AI is of the utmost importance to mankind. Because if we essentially end up with overlords that control the AI systems, that is very scary, because AI is going to directly impact human consciousness in the world that we are moving towards. But let's not make this too much of a philosophical one. Let's stick to the task at hand, which is updating people in regards to everything that's gone on with the ASI, the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance token, which consists of Fetch AI, Humian, obviously, and we're going to be hearing from Humian towards the end of the video, talking about a burn mechanism coming to this protocol. We've got Fetch AI, we've got Ocean Protocol, we've got AGIX, which is Singularity Net by Ben Goertzel, and then, of course, we've got Kudos. And there was, on the 12th of this month, so 12th of November, a announcement, a proposal, if you will, that was going to be put to the community on the 18th, so a couple of days from now, and then essentially conclude on the 23rd of November for PAAL AI, essentially to join the ecosystem. Now, PAAL AI, for those of you that aren't familiar, they have a lot of sort of Telegram chatbots and sort of Telegram integrations and also Discord integrations. And essentially, as far as I'm aware, this was about expanding the capabilities and reach of the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, and thus the projects and communities that are a part of it. However, there was extreme backlash as a result of this, I think, with fears that this was essentially going to dilute the supply of FET, and ultimately sort of water down, if you will, the holding of it through the implementation of a new token, or merging of a new token and ecosystem. So there was a lot of backlash as a result of this. This was obviously announced on the 12th of November. And actually, by the 14th or the 13th, the request was withdrawn. So we will cover that in just a second. Then we're going to be diving into this kind of burn mechanism that is being announced. Huge news that broke on yesterday's sort of meeting. This is from Humian Sheikh, who, of course, is the individual behind Fetch AI, the founder of Fetch AI. Also DeepMind, I think he was at before it got took over by Google. Very impressive individual. There's been negativity against the current PAAL ASI merge proposal. I would like to reassure and address a few points ahead of the ongoing X space, which of course we listened to yesterday. It was a great space. As always, really appreciate a lot of the speakers there. The merge is still a proposal. We are receiving requests for merge from many projects every day. Our charter and responsibility as ASI is to put forward project proposals which fit in with the tech stack and create value. The last merge with Kudos created value by adding supply side to the computing ecosystem and also increasing revenue. Addition to the tech stack and community creates exponential value for the ecosystem and token itself. The velocity at which we have released products and technologies since the ASI merge speaks for itself. The evaluation to put forward a proposal is carried out under a framework which helps create value for all ecosystems and token holders by either bringing supply side or demand side and fits with the product stack we are building. And a proposal does not mean automatic acceptance in the alliance. Communities from both sides have to be happy with the merge. This is not forced. It is also to enable community participation in the decision-making process, which is of the utmost importance that we have that when it comes to AI, which is a step forward in the decentralization thesis. Yep. We are listening to the community. The outcome of those or these proposals are not predetermined, but rather a beginning of the process. This is a new and untrodden path, and we want the communities and token holders to drive it forwards by participating and feel ownership of the project. Again, acceptance or rejection is part of a process by both communities. The merge cannot go ahead if community doesn't or don't accept. We don't want to encourage the participation. We are working on more direct ways of community representation on X and Telegram, and we will release soon. Do not panic. Instead, participate, accept or reject the proposal, and help shape our future onwards and upwards. So I think you really addressed that. Of course, since then, we have news that, and this is from them officially, we want to address the recent decision to retract the PAAL token merger into the ASI Alliance. We have heard the community's feedback and appreciate your input. Our imminent focus is on strengthening our core community, enhancing the existing alliance, and advancing the technology central to our shared vision. We are dedicated to building trust, supporting the utility of the FET token, and fostering meaningful progress for our stakeholders. By the way, quickly to interject, guys, it is still the FET token. So far with the merge, everything should have been converted to FET, whether that's been done for you by an exchange or whether you have to go and do that through the bridges. And then we're waiting for FET to be merged into the ASI token, which I don't think is going to, I don't think we're going to be too far off that, in my opinion. To continue with the topic at hand, it then says we're looking forward to moving ahead together with a clear focus on creating meaningful progress with our ecosystem, and it talks about their session. So since all of this has unfolded, and I've had lots of questions about what do I think, and we'll share some thoughts, it has been retracted, and due to the community outcry, mainly on the sort of I've seen two things. One, people didn't really sign up when they bought FET and all these other tokens, perhaps even for the Artificial SuperIntelligence Alliance, certainly not the continued adding, and in some ways they think diluting of their projects they initially saw interest in. And I think two, they don't obviously want the supply getting diluted any more than it would, and there was some issues with the sort of conversion rate. Some people thought it was too high, etc., on both sides of the community actually. Or both communities, not just the ASI community, also the PAAL community. My personal opinion on this is I am all for a dilution of the FET supply, the ASI supply, if it's going to ultimately lead to value being created for the projects and the community as a whole and further its role in the world. If you look at, for example, I own a lot of Bitcoin miners. Some of the miners will they'll increase their stock so that they can essentially take competition, sort of gobble up and become an ultimately bigger company. And it's a double-edged sword in the sense that it's increasing supply, but it's also, puts them in that premier position to monopolize an industry. And certainly in regards to decentralized AI, I think this project essentially is likely going to do that in a decentralized manner, if that makes sense. So I wasn't totally against this. I think the community largely was. They've listened to it and ultimately decided to withdraw it. What I want to do now, guys, to leave you on some good news, is actually dive over to a clip of
mechanism. What I mean by that is,
let's not play the clip now, of Humium in yesterday's talk, talking about a earn and burn mechanism. So we're going to go ahead and play that. I'll go ahead and mute my mic, and then we'll wrap the video up.
What I want the community to understand is we are working on an earn and burn mechanism. What I mean by that is you create revenue streams, which is what we are looking to do here. And with these revenue streams, all the earnings which are coming in, a portion of those earnings are going to be burned. So we do have a plan to start burning the token. We will release more information in the next week, and it will be ongoing. And as our revenues through the network fees, the utility of either the compute, the agentic networks, the algorithms, and the learn mechanism, which Ben was mentioning. As we increase that, the revenue will increase, and that we will then, a portion of that earn will be burned. So that's, I will pause here. Hopefully that answers your question.
Earn and burn. So burning of the FET token, soon to be ASI token, is going to be a thing. And as those revenues are generated, you'll see more and more burning, potentially turning it perhaps even deflationary, which is good. Burn mechanisms tend to sort of work when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. So to leave you on some good news, to put a capstone on everything, it's no longer happening, the PAAL merge. I was kind of on board with it, if I'm being honest. I think that this is something that they're going to have to do. And if the right project comes along, I'm sure, and the community obviously thought this wasn't the right project, but if it does, it's all about bringing revenue to this ecosystem. When you look at what the ASI is, it's essentially a marketplace for AI, in the same way that Bitcoin is a marketplace for compute and a running of the network. And this is the power of distributed ledgers, and they have a far broader application than just serving as a securing mechanism for an alternative store of value. AI is a big one. This is going to be a huge project. My thoughts on the burn mechanism, very excited about. He said we're going to hear more on that in the next week. Also, my thoughts in regards to the actual merge itself. I wasn't totally against it because I ultimately think that we want to sort of grow as an ecosystem, and that might mean engulfing projects. And if we have to dilute the supply somewhat, then so be it. In the long run, I think it will pay dividends. But that's just my opinion, guys. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully, we've updated you on everything going on with this right now. A lot of community backlash, a lot of outcries. My sort of messages were going crazy, asking what I thought, as I hold a hell of a lot of this token, or I wouldn't say I hold a hell of a lot of it. Relative to my overall portfolio, this is one of my larger positions, I should have said. And that is it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.